Real Madrid finished last season with no trophies. For most clubs, that's a disappointment. For Real Madrid, that's a national crisis. And Florentino Perez responds to a crisis in one way only, by putting his credit card on the table. But what they did this summer wasn't the usual Galactico move. It was something much colder, much more calculated, and honestly, much more frightening. Because this time, they didn't buy a star. They bought the missing pieces of a system, one by one. And today, I'm going to tell you why nobody is going to stop this team next season. First, we have to ask one question. What was Real Madrid's real problem last season? The answer wasn't the attack. Mbappé was already the deadliest goalscorer on the planet. He scored 10 goals at the World Cup, won the Golden Boot for the second time, and became the top scorer in the tournament's history. The problem was the structure behind that man. The defense was scattered, the midfield kept losing control, and the team had no plan at all. It had only individual talent. Now look at the names that arrived this summer, and watch how each one plugs a specific hole. Ibrahima Konaté, from Liverpool, one of the most physical centre-backs in the Premier League. This was Real Madrid's biggest weakness for the last 2 years. A man who could hold the line against fast breaks and win his one-on-one duels. Marc Cucurella, left back. And pay attention to this, because this transfer was done during the World Cup. In other words, Madrid had already signed him before Spain were even champions. Denzel Dumfries, a right-back who arrived from Inter for 20 million euros. He was the best wing-back in Italy and provided 7 goal contributions last season. After Carvajal's departure, the gap left on that flank was closed. And the smartest one of all, Bernardo Silva, from Manchester City. This man doesn't score goals, he doesn't top the running charts, he doesn't make the headlines. But for years, he was the one who set the tempo of the game inside Guardiola's system, and that was exactly what Real Madrid were missing, a brain on the pitch. Add Trent Alexander-Arnold and Huijsen to that. Endrick is coming back from his loan at Lyon, and talks are ongoing with Manchester City for Rodri. If that deal gets done too, this team's midfield becomes, without argument, the best in Europe. But the real point isn't the players. The real point is who those players have been handed to. Jose Mourinho, back at the Bernabéu after 13 years. And there is one constant across Mourinho's entire career. He takes talent, he gives it a structure, and he takes away the thing your opponent loves most. Now put this together. For the first time, perhaps the first time in his career, Mourinho has both the deadliest striker on earth and 4 new defensive pieces at the same time. His system is built on defensive balance to begin with, and when a Mourinho team has solved its defense, all that's left to do is finish the opponent off. And this detail matters enormously. This squad is no longer a youth project. Konaté is 27, Bernardo Silva is 31, Dumfries is 30. Perez deliberately bought experience, because Mourinho's system doesn't run on young players, it runs on players who already know what they're doing. But now, stop, because there is a major crack in this picture, and I'd be lying to you if I ignored it. Vinícius Jr., he's being linked with Arsenal, but he wants to stay. So how do Mbappé and Vinícius play at the same time in Mourinho's system? They both cut inside from the left, they both want the ball played to them, and neither of them loves defending. Across his whole career, Mourinho solved this kind of problem in one way, by sacrificing one of them. So this season, there's going to be a war of egos at the Bernabéu, and whoever loses that war, a part of this team is going to break off. The second crack is even more historical. Mourinho's teams almost always peak in the second season and collapse from the inside in the third. It happened at Chelsea, it happened at Real Madrid, it happened at Manchester United. This man wins you a title, and then he burns the team down. So the real question isn't, is Real Madrid strong this season? They're absolutely strong. The real question is, how long will that strength last? Let me tell you where I stand. On paper, this is the most balanced squad in Europe. Mbappé up front, Bernardo Silva in the middle, Konaté at the back, and the most pragmatic mind in football on the touchline. If that combination clicks for a full season, nobody can stop them. But no opponent has ever brought Real Madrid down throughout history. Real Madrid has always been brought down by its own dressing room. The curtain goes up on August 22nd. So what do you think? Is this team going to crush Europe, or is Mourinho's old story about to repeat itself one more time? Tell me in the comments. And when the season ends, don't forget to come back here and tell me exactly how wrong I was. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. The next one is going to be even better.